On today's podcast, the 3 times you may want to count calories.
Welcome to the Calorie Conundrum Podcast with Coach Strick. Join us as we expand the weight loss conversation to beyond just calories and dare to ask the question, why does eating less and exercising more sometimes not produce the desired results? Here's Coach Strick to discuss this Calorie Conundrum.
Hello everyone, this is Coach Strick. In this episode of the Calorie Conundrum Podcast, I'm going to discuss the 3 times you may want to count calories. If you have listened to any of the past podcasts, then you know I'm not a fan of counting calories. In my opinion, there are many other things that affect your health and weight loss other than attempting to simply count the calories you consume and the calories you expend. Things like your hormones, things like your emotions, things like obesogens and toxins. Things like mislabeling and incorrect data are just a few of the reasons why I'm not a fan of counting calories. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that calories don't count. I'm just saying that when it comes to weight loss and your health, it's a lot more complicated than calories in versus calories out. Today I'm going to discuss the 3 times it may be beneficial for you to count calories. The first example of a time I would recommend counting calories is if you have weight to lose and you have never tracked your food before. But before I would even recommend you counting your calories, I would recommend you track your food in general, meaning you just write down everything that you consume on a piece of paper or in a journal. I believe that tracking your food in this way creates an awareness that in and of itself can produce weight loss. Oftentimes in our go society, we are disconnected from our food, and the act of tracking what we have consumed can cause us to take a second to slow down, reflect, and appreciate the fuel that we have just given our body. After you have tracked your food for a couple weeks, you will probably see areas where you could improve on your own, but if you are a nutrition newbie, then you could seek help from a nutrition professional. The good ones will have you keep a food journal anyway to see what your average diet looks like, so if you take your food journal to them, you will be one step ahead. If you keep a food journal and you don't see weight loss, or maybe you would like to see more weight loss, then I would recommend you count your calories. A good way to do this is to track for 2 weeks and then add all the calories from those 2 weeks and then divide by the number of days you tracked. So in this example, 14. This will give you a good estimation of the amount of calories you consume in a day. Now here is the main reason I would recommend counting calories if you have never tracked your food before, and that is to determine the discrepancy between the estimated amount of calories you need a day to maintain your weight and the amount of calories you are consuming. As I discussed in episode 5, you have to find your BMR or basal metabolic rate, and more specifically, your TDEE or your total daily energy expenditure. There are many different formulas to find these numbers, but the easy way is to find them on Google by searching BMR or TDEE calculator. In these calculations, you will be asked your age, gender, height, weight, and estimated daily activity level. The calculator will then estimate what your total daily energy expenditure is. With this information and the information you obtain from tracking your food for 2 weeks, you can determine if the amount of calories you consume on an average day is more, about the same, or less than what is estimated for you. If the amount you consume is considerably higher than the estimated TDEE, then the answer is simple. You need to eat less. If the amount you consume each day is about the same as your estimated TDEE, then a few things you might consider are changing the macronutrient ratio of the food you are consuming. So if you see that you're consuming a lot of carbohydrates, then you may want to replace some carbohydrate calories with some protein calories while keeping your total calorie amount about the same to see if that may jumpstart your weight loss. You could also opt to increase your energy expenditure through movement or exercise, or you could choose to lower the amount of calories you are consuming. The last possible outcome from comparing the amount of calories you consume on average to the estimated TDEE, and the whole reason behind the Calorie Conundrum podcast, is when the calories you eat on average is less than your estimated TDEE. When this happens, it could mean that your metabolism is dysfunctional and you must investigate the reasons why. I highly recommend you find someone that is experienced with something like this to help you uncover some of the root causes of your sluggish metabolism and seek alternative opinions if the only answer you receive is to eat less or exercise more to lose weight. Many times, if you try to follow this advice and your average daily calories is less than your estimated TDEE, you could end up making your weight loss problem worse. Listen to some of the other podcasts to begin to discover some of the things that could be affecting your health and weight. Before I go on to the second reason why you might want to count calories, I have to mention one of the biggest errors you could make in your weight loss journey. That is figuring out what your BMR calorie amount is and then eating less than that. I have seen this time and time again, and it never works in the long run. Many people find their BMR, which doesn't even account for activity level, or they use the amount of calories recommended by a calorie tracking app like MyFitnessPal, and they attempt to keep their calories lower than that number. This is one of the fatal problems with the whole calories in, calories out philosophy. We have been told over and over again, eat less, exercise more, and you will lose weight. But your body is smarter than that. And if you attempt this for too long, you could make losing weight in the future an increasingly more difficult challenge. The second time I would recommend you count calories is when you are competing in a weight loss dependent sport like bodybuilding, wrestling, or boxing. Oftentimes, to compete in these sports, you have to take your body fat and body weight levels well below your average body set point. When this amount of precision is needed, calories must be tracked to ensure the desired weight loss is obtained. This is an extreme example, and 99% of people do not fall into this category. In reality, you should be able to maintain a healthy weight without counting calories, but this is a time counting calories is almost necessary. The final time you should count calories is if you are living a healthy lifestyle and you are not losing weight. If you have reduced stress, you get enough sleep, you drink enough water, you eat healthy whole foods, you move your body, and you still cannot lose weight, then it may be time to count calories. In this situation, you will have the same benefits as described before in that you will increase your level of awareness around food, and you can determine the difference between your average calorie consumption and your estimated total daily energy expenditure to obtain information that will allow you to make informed decisions about what to do next. If you find yourself in the average calorie consumption is less than your estimated TDEE category and you are living a healthy lifestyle, then you have some investigation work to do. Now, those calculators aren't perfect and everyone is different, but if you are trying your best and you find yourself consuming less calories on average than is estimated and you are not losing weight, then exercising more and eating less may not be the best option. I would urge you to continue to search for answers until you discover the root cause of your issues. So those are the 3 times I would recommend counting calories. 1, if you are new to weight loss and have never tracked your food before, it can help create awareness around food and determine the discrepancy between the amount of calories you are consuming and your estimated total daily energy expenditure. 2, if you are a competitor in a weight-dependent sport where calorie accuracy is extremely important. And 3, if you have checked all the boxes of a healthy lifestyle and you still can't lose weight, counting calories can give you an idea of how your metabolism is working and how to determine your next steps. And that's all for today. This is Coach Strick saying thanks for listening. And remember, when calories in, calories out doesn't work, that, my friend, is a calorie conundrum.
This podcast, including Coach Strick and guests, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects for the use of any information contained herein. Coach Strick and/or guests may recommend products or services in which they have a direct or indirect financial interest. To find out more, please visit www.calorieconundrum.com.